What's up, everyone? Logan Freeman here with Midwest CRE Advisors. Today, we're breaking down what actually matters from the Kansas City Plan Commission meetings held on March 4th and March 18th. We're going to skip the noise and focus on the approvals, the denials, and the developments that could impact future investment, land use, and redevelopment across Kansas City. Let's get into it. Starting in the Northland, we're seeing continued residential expansion. On March 4th, the Commission approved a 33-acre final plat for a school near Northwest 107th Street and North Trailblazer Drive, submitted by Sean Duke with Snyder and Associates. They also approved a 54-lot residential development near Northwest 104th Street and North Liberty Street, submitted by Nelson Willoughby with Olson. Then on March 18th, that same corridor saw another 58-lot residential plat, also tied to the Cadence development by Olson, although this one was continued to April 1st. The takeaway here is simple. Rooftops are continuing to push outward in the Northland, which supports future retail, service, and mixed-use demand. Now, one of the bigger wins this month was along North Oak Trafficway, a rezoning and development plan submitted by Rochelle Biondo with Rouse Fretz White Goss for a grocery store, and fuel station on about 12 acres at North Oak Trafficway and Northeast Shoal Creek Parkway was approved with conditions, even though staff originally recommended denial. That's a strong signal. When the commission overrides staff, it typically means there is either strong community alignment or clear market demand. This is the type of retail anchor project that can drive additional development around it. Shifting into the urban core, we're continuing to see momentum in mixed use and infill development. A mixed use development at 3244 Main Street, led by Annie Rouse and Tyler Asby, was approved with conditions, and a downtown adaptive reuse project at 1044 Main Street and 1031 Baltimore Avenue, also involving Annie Rouse and Exact Architects, was approved with conditions for a combination of commercial and residential space. Kansas City is continuing to lean into density, adaptive reuse, and walkable corridors, especially along Main Street and into the downtown core. Another project that fully moved forward this month is the State Line Road site at 7953 State Line Road. This is the Culvers project submitted by Adam Bendrick with Kimley Horn. It received full approval across a land use plan amendment, rezoning to B2-2, and a special use permit for drive-through expansion. When you see all three of those approvals stacked together, that is a full green light. This site is now moving forward. On the industrial side, we saw continued support for logistics and outdoor storage type uses. A transfer station project at 6611 East US 40 Highway, again submitted by Rochelle Biondo, was approved with conditions despite some public concern around traffic. We also saw a temporary outdoor storage use at 8721 North Summit Street, submitted by Jacob Hodson with Olson, approved with an extension from 3 years to 5 years. Kansas City continues to show flexibility toward industrial outdoor storage and utility type uses, which aligns with broader national demand trends. We also saw continued expansion of community and institutional uses. A school expansion at 7302 Pennsylvania Avenue, submitted by Andrew Egbert with SK Design Group, was approved with strong community support. And a religious assembly and community center on over 10 acres at 12181 North Woodland Avenue, submitted by Mark Henricks, was also approved. These types of projects help anchor neighborhoods and support long-term residential stability. One notable denial this month was the Leonard Smith Hall historic overlay designation along Independence Boulevard near the Paseo, submitted by the Kansas City Bungalow Club. After significant public input, the commission denied the request. This is important because denying a historic overlay preserves redevelopment flexibility and removes potential restrictions on future use. Keep an eye on that site. We also saw several major projects continue rather than finalize. Antioch Crossing, a 42-acre redevelopment at Northeast Vivian Road and North Shoto Trafficway, led by Olson, was continued again into April. The KCI area plan was also continued into mid-April, and multiple rezonings and special use permits, including the Wynn Road rezoning and the US 40 transfer station, moved from March 4th into March 18th before advancing. These are not dead deals. These are active projects that are still being negotiated and refined. And often that's where the biggest opportunities sit. One unique item worth noting was a 4.5-acre parcel at Northeast 104th Street and North Church Road that was approved for de-annexation from Kansas City into Liberty, Missouri, submitted by Anthony Belcher. These types of moves are usually driven by incentives, zoning flexibility, or development alignment, and they can signal future activity in those border areas. So, what does all of this mean? Kansas City is showing continued suburban residential growth, strong retail development in key corridors, ongoing support for mixed use and infill, and increasing flexibility toward industrial uses. Most importantly, projects are moving. Not everything is getting approved immediately, but deals are advancing, coming back through the pipeline, and getting closer to execution. That is a healthy development environment. If you want to stay ahead of what's actually happening in Kansas City, development, not a quarter behind, make sure you're following along. This is Logan Freeman with Midwest CRE Advisors, and we'll see you on the next one.